On today's episode, we're going to put two mammoth cars up against each other. We're putting the brand new RCKicks Fantom from Kyosho up against a brand new chassis from Tamiya, the TC-01. Now, which is going to be faster? We've got super light versus heavy. We've got brushed versus brushless. 2S versus 3S. Let's find out. Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're going to do some speed runs with two brand new cars that have just been released on the market. In the green corner, we have, weighing in at 887 grams, we have the mean, lean fighting machine from Kyosho. That's the pan car that's just been released, the Fantom.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Let's look at some stats on this vicious little monster. It's running a brushed Formula Kyosho motor, 22,000 RPM, running 2S 7.2 volts, coming in at 887 grams. Let's see how fast it is. Let's see how hard it punches. What do we reckon? 30 mile an hour? Let's find out. So she comes in at 37 miles per hour, which is pretty quick, but is it fast enough to beat the TC-01? Let's find out. Unfortunately, we suffered a little bit of damage, but she's all good. She drives straight and she drives true, so it's very nice. Right, let's find out how good the TC-01 really is. And in the blue corner is this from Tamiya, the brand new chassis TC-01. Now it's a heavyweight at 1.66 kg, but it packs a monster punch as this one is running a 3S LiPo, also brushless system from Hobbywing, which is the 3652 SL at 400 kV. So let's find out how fast it really is. Disaster has struck. The TC-01 is damaged. Yes, I was doing a practice speed run and unfortunately the front left drive shaft came away. Now it turns out when I looked into it that the drive cup on the left hand side disintegrated. The car was at 58 mile an hour, so be warned if you have one of these and you're doing speed runs, because what happened was once it lost drive on the left hand side at 58 mile an hour, it veered to the left, crashed into the curb, flipped over and basically destroyed my brand new body. So we got to 58 mile an hour. Yeah, she's super fast, very, very fast, but I think we're going to have some issues with drive cups, so we'll have to look at changing them out for metal ones to go any faster than that. So please be warned if you spent 3 days painting up a body that you've now completely destroyed. Anyway, what am I going to do? Well, we've got no running footage of the TC-01, so the only option for me now is I'll take the other drive shaft out and then we will go to rear wheel drive and then we'll do a few more runs and see what we can get. Right, let's carry on. my body. Barely keep it straight. Right, after that disaster, I got a little bit of running footage for you, but I couldn't do any power runs because the car is just too damaged. Running on rear wheel drive is a bit of a disaster for that much power. Right, so we got 58 versus 37. So obviously this is the winner, kind of, but not looking at it. Anyway, back to the studio. Well, there you go, an eventful speed run was had, and quite an expensive one at that, yes. Well, what was the results from our experiment? Well, obviously the brushed system is insanely fast, and we clocked 58 mile an hour in this car on one previous run. It was only the second run that we had the accident, so that's why there's no footage of the crash, and it was an amazing crash. It was very visceral, it was loud, and there was a mighty bang, and yeah, so it looked really cool, but unfortunately I cannot bring you any footage of it. I can only describe what happened, and this is what happened. So I did a second run. We did one run successfully, and then we went for a second run. The car was coming towards me up the road. Suddenly, while I was under power, it turned 90 degrees to the left, started to roll because it was so abrupt. The car flipped over. The front section here hit the curb. There's a little bit of grazing here. Then it slammed into the curb, so it basically went like this. It veered off this way, it hit here, slammed into the curb, and then flipped over this way, which has resulted in the body itself taking most of the impact as it went like this. So luckily the strongest part of this whole chassis body is this little air intake, because it's so strong and it's such a thick piece. So it punched it all the way in, which is good and bad. Why is it good? Well, it means that the energy didn't go through the chassis, and the chassis has come out pretty unscathed apart from a little mark at the front and a little mark on the diffuser. Just a tiny little scratch there, and then there's a few little marks underneath, but the chassis itself survived very well. The front tyre is all scuffed up. The other tyres are okay. The tyres didn't delaminate or anything like that. It wasn't to do with the glue letting go or the rubber or anything like that. What actually happened, and it matches what I saw, was the front left drive cup disintegrated. As it disintegrated, the drive shaft was free, so it fell out, losing drive to the front left wheel, which then resulted in 3 wheels with power, 1 wheel without, which resulted in the pitch that I saw, and then the flip. So what basically happened is we had a mechanical failure of the drive cup. Now these drive cups are metal, but they're very, very, what's the word? They're very, very slim. So there's not that much metal, and then when you can see it's actually broken off, it does look like an actual failure. It doesn't look like anything's hit it. I couldn't find the small little piece that's missing, but the rest of the cup looks completely fine. It looks like it's just sheared clean off at the bottom point, which is what you would actually see. As it let go, it snaps off at this point. It wasn't hit here or anything like that. It's just snapped clean off. Why? Because of the rotational forces, I think. Now I don't know whether while it was under power the front wheels had started to spin. I mean, it felt nice and flat. It was just going along and it just veered to the left. So I do feel like it just let go. I've got both drive shafts. This is the drive shaft that actually fell out. It's not bent. It wasn't far from the car at all, but being black it stood out because the road I was on wasn't totally dark black. So there is no damage to this. So it's not like something hit it or anything like that and bent the drive shaft. There was no impact. There was nothing like that. So that's what's caused the damage. So what was the top speed? Well, we were at 58 mile an hour. I think this could have pushed 60. There was wind, there was headwind coming towards us, so I think that this car will do 60 mile an hour with the current Easy Run 3652 brushless system in it. But should you do that speed? Not right now, no. I think that the drive cups are too soft. I'll have to see if I can get a replacement. I have no idea whether I can get one of these at the moment. I haven't even checked yet. I've just come straight back. As for the body, yes, I'll have to get a new body. So I've got to paint up a new body. but then that's mainly going to just be kept for the shelf now. This will be the running body for the car itself. I probably won't do anything. I'll just leave the body as it is. There's no big deal. Also, this chassis will probably get a few other different bodies from that point of view, as well as a few upgrades. Now, I might have to dial back the speed runs a little bit, which is a shame. I also need to find an area that's wider, like a big car park. So if I do have a failure, yes, the car might have rolled over, but it wouldn't have nailed a curb at that speed. Anyway, what did we get from the Fantom? Well, we got 37 miles an hour, which is kind of to be expected. We're running a brush system, even though we are light. This was beautiful to drive and great fun, and the road that I was on was nice and smooth enough for this car. It did suffer a bit of a graze on the side, but that was nothing to do with speed runs. I just let my son have a go, and as he was driving away, he turned left instead of right, and he clipped the curb a little bit. I can go in and I can fix this. That's not that different. I'll just have to remove the paint as it's blistered from behind and then blow it back in again. Yes, the decals have taken a little bit of the rub, but it's fine. That should be okay. So there we go. Yes, first speed run on the show, and it ended with some drama. Anyway, thanks very much. Please like and subscribe, and if you would like to help support the channel covering this cost, please head over to the RCKicks Patreon page, as this is all I do full time. So yeah, it's getting a bit expensive. Thanks very much. See you on the next one. Bye bye. Oh god, no, 2 cars damaged. Check out one of these videos for some more RC fun.